after the Civil War from Richmond, Virginia, General Lee moved to Lexington, Virginia, where he accepted a job as a college president at a school called Washington College. And for the last 5 years of his life, he devoted his work as school president to healing the divisions between North and South caused by the Civil War. General Lee passed away in 1870, and he's entombed in the chapel of what is today Washington and Lee University. He's buried with his wife, their children, his parents, and his war-horse Traveler. And also visitors have asked this question: did the Lee family ever get the land back from the federal government? And the answer was yes. Their eldest son, Custis Lee, in 1877, he sued the government, claiming right of inheritance to Arlington Estate. And this case went up to the Supreme Court in Washington, D.C., but it took 5 years for the court to rule in the son's favor on the grounds that Arlington was illegally seized. However, by 1882, more than 16,000 soldiers were already laid to rest here on the property. And seeing that this area was unsuitable as a home for Lee, he gave the land back to the government, and he accepted a fair sum payment of $150,000 to move elsewhere, ensuring Arlington's use as a national cemetery. And on your left, had we taken that road, that'll lead you to the oldest section of the cemetery, section 27, where the very first soldier was laid to rest, Private William Crispin, back in 1864. Also in that section, 3,800 contrabands, fugitive and liberated slaves. Many were original residents of a settlement here called Freedman's Village, which was in use from 1863 until 1890. Their headstone simply reads civilian or citizen. And also on your left, what you're looking at is section 38, devoted to Korean and Vietnam War veterans and casualties. And as you're looking at these headstones, regardless of the angle, they're all in a straight line. That's to symbolize our military personnel standing in formation. And also beyond section 38 is where you'll find section 51. And a Marine by the name of Private First Class Rene Gagnon is laid to rest there. He was one of the 6 men that raised the flag on Mount Suribachi during the Battle of Iwo Jima in 1945. 2 other flag raisers from that event are also here, Sergeant Michael Strank and Private First Class Ira Hayes. Now on your right side, we're looking at section 30, and we're going to come across the sidewalk, and at the end of the path, you'll see a 14-foot tall headstone marking the final resting place of the other U.S. President buried in Arlington, 27th Commander-in-Chief William Howard Taft. It's buried with his wife, First Lady Helen. You can thank her for the cherry blossom trees in Washington, D.C. Now here on your right, too, the first 2 rows, number of generals buried here. Among the generals, Omar Bradley, America's last 5-star general, field commander of Operation Overlord, the Normandy invasion, June 6, 1944. And also in section 30, Robert Todd Lincoln, Secretary of War to President Garfield. In Washington, D.C. back in 1922, if you look to your left, you saw his father's memorial being dedicated. Robert was the eldest surviving son of President Abraham Lincoln. He lived to be 83 years old. He passed away in 1926. And so it originally began as a 1,100-acre estate was dramatically altered by the Civil War. Today, Arlington National Cemetery is America's second largest national cemetery, 624 acres. Calverton National Cemetery in Long Island, New York is larger, which is over 1,100 acres. Today, more than 333,000 military personnel and family members are interred in these sacred and hallowed grounds at an average rate of 28 funerals every weekday. Assuming that the number of funerals are the same, it's projected that 50 years from now, approximately by 2060, Arlington will reach its full capacity, and afterwards it will no longer be an active cemetery, but will still remain open to the public as a national shrine. And so as we go around the traffic circle here, for those of you going back to Washington, D.C. with the Tourmobile, across the street, bus isn't there yet, but there's a